Today on The Real Fan Review, we get you guys ready for John Wick 3, we go over our recent movie news, and talk about our best action movies. Welcome to The Real Fan Review. What's going on, podcasters and YouTubers? My name is Hav, and I'm one of your hosts here from The Real Fan Review. If it's your first time with us, thank you for checking us out. And if you're coming back, thanks for joining back in with us on our weekly conversation. If you want to ask us a question or make suggestions for us to talk about, you can always reach us here at our website, therealfanreview.com, or you can go email us at therealfanreview@gmail.com. You can always find us on Instagram, Facebook, on Twitter also. We're on that now. And today with me, we usually have a 4-man team or even a 5-man team, but we're just with 3 men. We're doing the 3-man weave like in my old basketball days.
It's a threesome.
Oh, gosh.
And today, to my right, we got my boy Sanj with me.
Hello, everyone. It is great to be back with you as usual.
And then to my left, we got my brother Brandon.
Hey, what's going on?
All right, man, everybody. So it's going to be us 3 today. You think we got it?
I think we got it, but before we get started, I would like to give a huge shout out to our biggest fan. And when I say biggest, I don't mean in size, but as far as support. So I was up in Ithaca over the weekend for at Cornell University.
That's right.
For the law school graduation. And our biggest fan is now a graduate of Cornell Law.
Yeah.
So a round of applause. And she's also my little sister.
We love you, Manta.
We just wanted to give you a shout out and say congratulations, and we, congratulate you on your hard work, and thank you for being our biggest fan.
And you know what's funny? It's always like she's with us because every time I look to my left,
that's right, her picture.
I got
on the left.
On the left. I love the callbacks, man. We always do that, man. So, Brandon, man, how about you, man? How was your weekend? I know Sanj was out there doing that with his sister.
Oh, so busy. A lot of work. With the new music school that I'm working with. Lots and lots of lessons, lots and lots of shows.
Yeah, man. It's been a crazy week for me, too, man. I didn't really get a chance to do any kind of, like, real movie watching. I've been trying to catch up with the Mission Impossible movies because I want to see Mission Impossible Fallout. I wrote a review on the website that we have, therealfanreview.com. And what I've been doing is been trying to catch up with all the Mission Impossible movies. So I watched 1, 2, 3. And I got Ghost Protocol. And I got to tell you guys, I wasn't really too excited to see Ghost Protocol because when I saw 1 and 2 and 3, I was like, oh my God, dude, why did I like this so much?
Is the story still intertwined? Like, is still one continuous story?
Yeah, if you consider Ethan Hunt the story.
Well, I had started,
you mean Tom Cruise?
I had started watching them back in the day, and to me, I just, after the first 3, the same way, I'm like, I don't want to see these
That's
anymore.
what happened to me, exactly. The first 3, look, the first one was really cool. It was an interesting concept. It was weird. And
I liked the TV show from back in the day, and when they decided to bring it as movies and give it that treatment, I thought it was a great idea. And then the first one was cool, like you said, and then
cool.
But it just it didn't keep my interest.
It really didn't. And the second one too. The second one, dude, I'm telling you, when you see the pigeons flying in slow motion, you're like, did John Woo direct this?
Oh yeah.
I grabbed the box. I look at him like,
and then when he's hanging upside down and lets a single dove fly, I'm like, first of all, where did you keep the dove?
It was a cave. Where did the doves come from?
No, so he had to bring the dove with him. So like, what? It was just like in your sock or like in your armpit or something. Like
doves are actually indigenous to the South African caves. And
oh god,
you really almost pulled that off.
Yeah,
there are no caves in South Africa.
There are caves. There are caves everywhere.
Then I got to the third one. The third one was a lot better than the first 2, but it was still like there was something just like I don't know, something was missing in the
it was
vibe
missing
of the
a
story.
lot. It was missing a lot.
It was missing good. That's what it was. No, I'm just kidding.
Fellas, I gotta tell you, Ghost Protocol is the shit.
Okay, all right.
Oh,
you know what?
Man.
I think Leader Hav has just given us some homework.
Hey, listen, if you want to, because like I said,
Yeah.
I heard Fallout was great, and I didn't get to watch it because it was like a crazy time period. Elijah was 2 months old. Noah was just 2, so it was crazy. So I didn't get a chance to go see in the theaters. But yeah, Ghost Protocol was definitely.
Is that where he's versing Henry Cavill?
No. Oh, Fallout. Fallout is.
Fallout is okay.
I mean, I don't know if he's versing him or if he's on the same team, but I know that's the one with Henry Cavill
See,
there.
part of my issue with movies like Mission Impossible and John Wick, again, they're movies and you have to take it with a grain of salt.
Right.
But Wolverine is the only character that I know that has adamantium skeleton. These guys get beaten around, thrown around, hit by cars, and just get up.
And they actually age.
And they, so that's where it goes too far. From
Right.
Come on, really? Like in John Wick 2, he literally got like beat up by a car.
Yeah.
Like he hit him with the car.
Which is going to bring us to later on today.
And then he
John
walked
Wick.
over to the driver's door, opened the door, and kicked the shit out of the guy. Like, you know what I mean?
Well, that's actually part of our podcast today. We're going to be doing that John Wick prep today. We're going to be going over that in a few. But like I was telling you guys, if you guys get a chance and you haven't seen it in a while, definitely Ghost Protocol, Mission Impossible 4 is definitely something to look at. I got part 5 coming in the mail from Netflix. I still do the DVD with Netflix somehow.
That's still a thing.
It's still
I don't know if they still know. I don't know if they know.
I don't think they know that I'm still a subscriber to their DVDs.
I don't think they know they still do that.
So I'm getting that one tomorrow, so then I could watch Fallout hopefully sometime this week and finally find out what everybody was talking about. So we'll see how that goes, man. But that's the only movie I got to see this week. How about you guys? Sanj, you got to see anything?
I did get to see what was the name of the movie? Ugly Dolls. I took my daughter and son
Get
to
outta
see
here.
Ugly Dolls.
How was that?
It was incredible. I don't know, maybe I'm just getting old, but these children's movies keep getting me just all
I
in
feel like
the
they're getting better.
You're getting the
feels.
feels on all
In the
these.
field. I have to say, it was probably the most inspiring movie I have ever seen. Ugly
Wow.
Dolls. Like if you go see it, because here's this little doll. She's an ugly doll. They don't know that they're rejects, right? And she just wants to find her kid. That's gonna be her kid. That is gonna love her, and she's gonna love the kid back and bring the kid, lots of joy. And then the whole movie, they're being told that they're ugly dolls, that they'll never, no kid will ever want them. They go to Perfectionville and everything to learn how to be, basically finishing school for dolls
Right.
before they go to their kid. And with all the ridicule, everything along the way, she just continues to put one foot in front of the other and work towards her goal. And by the end of the movie, spoiler alert. Oh wait, am I doing it the wrong way? I'm supposed to spoil it, then say the spoiler alert. She
Come on,
achieves
Sanj.
she achieves her goal at the end of the movie. Spoiler alert.
There you go.
Right? But if there's nothing cheesy about the way that it's done. Kelly Clarkson voices the main character. The music in the music is wonderful, delightful, and the kids loved it. Again, we were talking about what makes a great movie. Great story.
Great story, exactly.
Great performances by the actors involved.
Cool. It's funny you say that because I keep hearing people say that as they get older, they start seeing the different little adult jokes in all these little cartoon
I gotta say
movies.
that Ugly Dolls didn't have much of that. I
Okay.
can't really point back to something in it that was like an adult.
Yeah, because I know Toy Story does it.
Toy Story does it all the time. Yes, of course. Yeah, yes. But I mean, they named the main character Woody. Like.
That's awesome.
And his partner is Buzz.
Yeah.
Woody and Buzz.
How about you, B man? You caught anything in last week, or you just been working, man?
I did manage to catch Dragon Ball Super Broly. I've been wanting to see that for a while.
Wait, what is it?
Dragon Ball Super, and the movie is Broly.
Okay.
So, for those who aren't an anime freak like I am, Dragon Ball Z always had Broly as a movie kind of character. They did like 3 movies of Broly. And if you don't know Dragon Ball, he's like this really super powerful...
A Super Saiyan.
Well, he is a Super Saiyan. He is the legendary Super Saiyan, as they put it. So,
Yeah.
if you don't know Dragon Ball Z, it's all about super powered, like just getting more power. Like there's a new form always.
There's like 99 minutes of powering up.
Yeah,
and
99
1 minute of fight.
Yep. And so here's the interesting thing about this movie. This movie was an hour and a half of fighting. and it was like
So you had like 8 days of powering up
It was-
to get.
it was crazy because I was cracking up because I was like, it's a Dragon Ball movie, so like it's gonna be a lot of powering up, a lot of like a lot of that,
and like that seething, hissing, breathing.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's like a lot of a lot of dialogue, and then this movie was literally mostly all action.
Oh,
And
wow,
I was really impressed because it was a good hour, and I said to myself, well, this is so not like what you're used to for Dragon Ball. Like you're used to just all of that,
Right.
And so like I'm saying to myself, an hour of fighting is probably gonna get like boring, after a little bit because they've never actually done that, and I don't think someone actually do that. Nope, the full hour of fighting was incredible. They took new set pieces. It wasn't like the same thing over and over. They melded the story into the fighting, so it
Okay.
all worked. It wasn't just them fighting for no reason, like just to win. It was fighting for a purpose.
They
and this and
added
that.
they added a dimension to the
And it was cool.
Isn't reality into Dragon Ball
Yes,
Z?
he
and all
is.
that
I
stuff like
think
that?
he is or was,
right?
yeah. So it was a really good movie, and it was actually great. And it was the coolest thing for those of us who are fans of anime and Dragon Ball. They actually made Broly canon, which for those who don't know what the word canon is, actually part of the main story.
Right.
And for those of you that don't know, Brandon's actually a teacher also, so that's why he's very educational with his delivery.
He goes, just in case you didn't get the whole, word
It's
here.
it's very Montessorian here. So there is an addendum that I was alerted to that I had to add. Remember last week we spoke about Pokemon,
Yeah.
right? And Samantha, our biggest fan, when I saw her over the weekend, she had to tell me, she said, you need to make an addendum to the podcast because last week when you guys were talking about Pokemon, I particularly was very quiet because I didn't know too much about Pokemon.
Right.
And I was like, I really have no experience. And she's like, no, but you have experience with the Pokemon because when, I believe she said it was in junior high school, she did really well on something. I got her a Game Boy Advance, and both of the games that I bought her were Pokemon games, and we sat there and played them for hours, and I totally forgot.
You're like, oh, the Pikachu are here.
Yeah,
The Pikachu again.
I'm telling you, man. When we were talking about that last week, the first thing I kept thinking and playing in my head is Brandon, man. Brandon with the Pokemon. He liked Pokemon and Digimon, wasn't it?
Digimon,
Oh,
yeah. Those
I
are the
love
digital
Digi-
monsters,
That was
right?
great. Oh, so good. A fun fact is not movie related, but regarding Pokemon, when I think I was 8 when Pokemon Red came out. I actually went through the entire game with just one Pokemon because I didn't understand the concept of how to use a Pokeball. And so I just assumed other players had more than one Pokemon, and I was like, oh, I was okay as long as I beat them.
Yeah.
So I went through the entire game with just leveling up my Charmander to Charizard. He was like level 100 solely because he was the only Pokemon I had. And so like I can say I'm pretty beast because I went through it all with one Pokemon.
You're not gonna toot your own horn on that one, huh? Okay.
It took me a couple years to figure out that you could actually use the Pokeballs. My bag had like times 99 Pokeballs in it because I never used them.
No.
I had no idea how to do it.
I was gonna make a crude joke. I'm gonna let that one live.
Let me live.
Dude, my OCD made me stop playing Pokemon because I legitimately had to collect them all. and it was just way too much, and sometimes you couldn't find some of them, and I get so upset because I have to get that list completely perfectly done. And
That's actually one of the reasons why I can't play like online video games.
right.
Because the world is so expansive that you can basically go anywhere and do anything, and because of that, I have to like explore every single nook and cranny. And
What's under this bush?
well, exactly, right? Well, because I was I had gotten really into Star Trek Online.
Right.
Surprise, surprise! Like I had so many different ships and everything,
Yeah.
but the world was just so expansive. Like I would literally sit down and start playing this thing as a grown man, and it's like 5 hours later, right? Luckily, this was before I had children, so I wasn't ignoring my children or anything like
Yeah.
that. But then I'm just like, I can't do this, like
Yeah.
because it's just there's just so much. And then you want to go fight everybody and fire photon torpedoes at everybody. Like, you know what I mean? Like, and then when like somebody beats you, you have to like run back and get and go level up. You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely. Man. I just feel like that's how all of these games are now. Everything is like a leveling up and freaking on the phone, man. Everything you gotta pay for now. It's just nuts, man. But bringing it back to the movie stuff, man. I mean, those are the movies that we saw this week. And, you know, every time we get a chance to watch a movie, we'll try to put a review out there. If you guys are interested out there, therealfanreview.com is our website. We put our reviews up there. We put our podcasts on there as well. So feel free to go to the website. You could also, like I said before, you can leave comments on there and just let us know if you're interested in us talking about a different topic or discussion that you want us to have here at the Real Fan Review, and we'll go ahead and do that with you guys. And as far as the news and stuff for the week, I think I saw It Chapter 2 trailer that came out last week, or was it Thursday it came out, I believe.
I think so.
Man.
I'm shook. I'm shook.
Listen, the first one caught me by surprise because, you know, I kind of remember liking the TV show It when they had that little mini series. It was like 2-3 episodes, I think, on Channel 7 or something movies, a long time ago. And it was cool. So when they came out with the movie for It, the trailer got me, but I was like, it's going to be a clown, whatever. My surprise, man, it was kind of awesome. But I mean, from the trailer itself, man, listen, I think she's a phenomenal actress. Jessica Chastain, man, her being in the movie is gonna be awesome. Also,
she was really good in Interstellar. The performance that she gave in Interstellar,
it's
incredible.
Well, Zero Dark 30.
Oh,
she killed it in that one. But she's an awesome actress. And then the guy who plays Professor X.
Which one?
The most McAvoy?
James McAvoy.
McAvoy's in the movie. It looks good, man.
Yeah,
it really does look
and
good.
even like he has such range with his acting because like he had a speaking role in a little bit of that trailer, and you're just like, I'm always interested to see how he's going to play the role.
And then let's see here, what else we got going on, man. With the news of the week there, we look like we got the New Mutants got pushed back to April 2020.
It's gonna get pushed back until it's canceled.
Yeah, as soon as you start hearing pushbacks,
especially a far pushback like that, because it was supposed to be out.
I mean, they pushed it back like what, 2-3 times, 4 times now?
Yes,
I think this is the third time it's been
pushed
back.
It goes back to Star Trek was supposed to come out. Star Trek 2009 was supposed to come out like on Christmas Day.
Yeah,
got pushed back. And pushed back. And then, womp, womp.
No more.
Right? We don't have to go into my feelings on it again.
Yeah.
Right? So there you go. As soon as they start to push a movie back, it's over.
I think the concept itself was just too risky.
Like a horror comic book genre, right?
Like, horror comic, like, I think that concept is great, the execution of it, but I feel like they tested it a couple times and it just didn't work. And so it's like, if you can't make that work the first 2 times you do it, then it's...
Well, in the comic books, to me, Venom was more of a horror character, and he didn't play that way on the screen.
Right.
When they came to a Venom movie, they made him an anti-hero.
Yeah. Which
he wasn't necessarily not that.
Yeah.
But he made like Venom, the way they drew him and everything. Like, you're reading these things as a 10 and 11-year-old. It was scary.
Yeah.
And the viciousness that he went after Spider-Man.
I mean, especially those early graphics for him,
right?
Too. Like you always did like the mouth and the teeth.
That's
terrifying.
Yeah.
He looked like a horror character, and they could, and some of his storyline is like that, and they could have gone that route if you want to.
Yeah.
You got to take a character that's built for it, not the New Mutants.
Yeah.
They're a little, you know what I'm saying? Like, you can't take Cyclops and try to turn him into Thor, right? Cyclops is way too cheesy of a character, right? We know he's a cornball, so he's gonna stay a cornball, a powerful cornball, but a cornball nonetheless.
Right, 4 eyes, like.
Oh my god! What are you guys thinking? Because the rumor out there right now is that since they pushed it back to April 2020, which is still kind of like summerish movie time, that maybe they're pushing it back to 2020 to kind of like link it to the MCU now that Disney owns it.
I mean, I would certainly say that's a good push, but I feel like this project is going to get ixed or just become something else.
Yeah.
Which is a shame because they already have that first trailer. So are we going to stick to it because we already have our trailer out? Or are we going to say that didn't happen and kind of do something else? Because now you can go back to the drawing board and make a story. Like 2022 is very far from now. So it's like you can go back to the drawing board and make a whole new story and then make it like these are now our new mutants for the MCU, our mutants. But like
that iteration,
I don't know if that concept is going to fly.
That iteration of the New Mutants failed when they introduced Cable the way that they did. Because Cable is the leader of the X-Force, which the New Mutants eventually link up. We've talked about this
Yeah.
before. And Cable was not what the Deadpool movies were great and very entertaining, and I love the Deadpool character. I was not compelled by Cable.
No.
Didn't look like Cable should look. He felt a lot smaller.
Mm-hmm.
He looked a lot smaller than Cable, I think, should be.
Yeah.
And just didn't work.
Yeah,
I agree. I
gotcha.
feel like it worked for the Deadpool movie, but I feel like you're now taking that character out
Right.
of the serious movies, to say.
Right.
You know what I think though, man? Because if they're trying to get away from everyone remembering the Fox movies, right?
Yeah.
Like the Fox Deadpool movies, the Fox X-Men movies, the Wolverine movies. They gotta do something different, because if it comes across like its own little separate thing, then it's like, it's gonna confuse people. Gonna be like, is it now part of MCU? Is it not? Is it part of the Marvel thing?
But let me ask you this now:
Go for it.
are they gonna try and bring them into the MCU now? And like,
Right, because
how
that's
are we
late
gonna
these movies
do
coming out.
this? Like, because we know the comics, New Mutants, and it is a ragtag group of mutants that are completely different, brought in by Cable. I was like, well, are we gonna try and say that these are our new mutants because they are new to the MCU, kind of a thing? So I'm really interested in see what they do there.
Yeah, I'm after you worded it like that, I'm very interested in see what they're doing. It doesn't have to be the mainstream X-Men mutants that I have to see.
Doesn't have to be the '90s popular mutants.
Because look what they did with the Guardians of the Galaxy. So
Yeah.
if they could do something like that with these new characters, then I'm in for it. Because my only thing is, if you're gonna put it out April 2020, are we then gonna get a New Mutants 2?
Well, that's
Or
supposed
they're
to
just gonna put that out
putting
and
it
then-
out at that point that's supposed to be the kickoff
Right,
for the summer season. Well, May is usually kickoff, but that's when you start to get the big movies.
right.
Yeah, that's supposed to be the blockbuster.
That's why I'm curious as to why they have it for that time, unless they're
Yeah.
gonna hide it with another movie on top of it,
Yeah.
All right, and let's see what else we got out here for this week of the news. There, we got they said Avatar Part 2 got pushed back another year.
What did we just say about pushbacks?
I feel like Disney's just making everybody just like, look, we got our plans. You fit in where you get in.
And I feel like that's the hardest thing, because you came around. Was it James Cameron, right?
Yeah.
Came around saying, "Don't worry, we got 5 movies.
Dude.
We have sequel upon sequel. We're shooting them now.
remember
Like,
LeBron and the Heat when they was like, we ain't gonna win 3, we're not gonna win 4, we're not gonna win 5, and they got 2.
it's
I
just
mean,
like, I don't know. Was it worth it?
When did Avatar come out? Wasn't it like
I think
2000?
2009.
Are y'all looking for Avatar 2?
I was never looking
No.
for it.
Right? I mean,
I liked it for what it was at the time. I don't need a second part.
but for them to be so confident to
About
make
4 other
5,
sequels?
Avatar 5, 4,
Yeah.
3. I mean, I can understand an Avatar 2, no problem. But you already in your mind are working on Avatar 5 too. I'm like,
And then you had the theme park to boost, like,
Yeah.
it's just like, you're really set on this thing that no one else was set on. Like, you got to really bring it. So I'm hoping when Avatar 2 comes out, it's got to be good.
Like they thought they could make it like the new Star Wars,
right.
and it didn't jump
Well,
off.
based
that
off of
way.
that first story alone, I was just like, I was fine with the one.
Yeah,
I
well,
need
that's what I
else.
said. I liked it for what it was,
Yeah.
and I don't need to revisit it.
Yeah.
What are they going to bring to the table? What new thing are they going to bring to the
That's
table?
what I'm saying.
Or are they just going to keep retelling the story? They're not going to bring anything new to that story, because that was basically the story of colonizing
It was
and
Pocahontas.
destruction of native people.
And we all know Pocahontas 2 didn't work. So.
Right, and not that story doesn't need to be told, and not that story doesn't need to be retold,
Yeah.
and etched in our brains and re-etched and ingrained. But if we're talking about movies and entertainment, that's not where it's at.
Did you like that movie when it came out?
I liked it. I
thought it
liked
was
it enough.
cool.
I didn't think it was great. I didn't think it was bad. I thought it was good. I thought visually I liked it. I liked, the themes of the movie, and it was what it was.
I thought it was
I
entertaining.
wonder how
That
it
was
made so much money then. Was it just a 3D
Because
thing?
it was the first time, not the first time, but it was like one of those big, like, this is an IMAX movie.
It was hyped.
It was,
It was good
hyped up.
marketing around the movie to
Yeah, because that's the #1 movie of all time right now, as far as grossing money wise.
It was like, it was one of the first times we started doing the whole IMAX thing, you know?
Yeah.
So, like,
Wait,
to say,
Endgame hasn't
shot
done it
on IMAX.
No, almost. I think Endgame's at 2 million.
$2 billion.
2 billion.
2 billion 6 or 2 billion 4 or something like that. So it's almost
give
there.
Endgame a week or two.
Dude, can you imagine that in 3 weeks to make $2 billion?
I believe it.
They did it in a weekend. Like,
Oh my god! The first weekend was $1 billion something.
Yeah.
That's just sick. That's just nuts. I mean, that's pretty much all the movie news that I have down for all of us today. I mean, I don't know if you guys heard anything in the movie news otherwise besides that, because it really wasn't, like I said, there was only that real one trailer, that It Chapter 2 trailer,
Yeah.
which got me ready and amped up for part 2 coming out in September.
yeah, I'm really excited for It Chapter 2. You know, I've always been a fan of the It series. I read the book, you know, saw the old movies. So It Chapter 1 surprised me because it was such a stray from the old movies. You know, I guess with the sign of the times, you know, you have more money. Actually, I have a blockbuster. So great movie. So now, like, It Chapter 2, like, I can't wait.
Yeah, me neither, man. I remember seeing it with you and telling you it was like the Goonies, and you got all mad at me because it wasn't. You said, this is nothing like the Goonies. All right, man, that puts a wrap on the news of the week and the trailers and everything like that, and just our takes on little bits of movie stuff out there. So one of the things we wanted to do on this episode, because John Wick 3 Parabellum's coming out this week, I don't know about you guys, but I am definitely seeing that one. I'm seeing that probably Thursday night. What about you? You guys are seeing it or catching it?
I mean, if I can get out of a little bit of my Disney trip to go to the movie theater at downtown Disney, then I'll definitely get in there.
Son, you in for John Wick 3?
Is this Thursday night?
Well, I'm going this Thursday night. I don't know if anybody else is coming with me, but I'm probably gonna go check it out, man.
Let me see. This Thursday night?
I'll take an Uber from my hotel to the movie theater. Like, I'll check it out.
Yeah, we could go check that out.
All right, man. I'll let you know when I'm gonna probably get the tickets for that and see what time works out for everybody there. So I mean, to kind of get everybody ready for John Wick, I was gonna go over John Wick 1 and John Wick 2, and kind of give everybody a recap of where we left off, so that way by the time you go see this movie, we kind of helped you get into that John Wick kind of mode. I know, Sanj, you probably saw John Wick most recently than everybody here.
John
right?
Wick 1 and 2.
Oh, you saw part 2 too.
You gave me homework assignments and I completed my homework assignments as promised.
Brandon, you saw 2. I know you saw 1. Me
I
and you
saw
saw
1 and 2.
Yeah, okay.
It's been a while since I've seen them, but I think I remember the gist of the movies.
All right, man. So we'll start off
Guns.
Dog.
We'll start off with part 1 there, man. So with John Wick 1, I think it starts off with is it that he lost his wife or his girlfriend?
It was
Wife.
His wife that he lost, right?
And then he has the dog and everything, and then
The wife left him the dog, or
the wife.
did he go?
It was oh man, that part like got me a little bit, because the dog showed up after his wife died, because she had a terminal disease, so she knew she
probably
was
got
dying.
it for him, and no
Right,
one.
so she got the dog for him before her death to be delivered after her death.
Yeah.
So the dog shows up. She's like, I didn't want you to be alone. Right?
Right.
And then
She wanted him to love again.
Right,
Yeah.
right. And then but he's upset. He's broken
course,
at the death of his his wife. And then, and obviously, he's a movie character. He doesn't need a job. He just has tons and tons of money and lives in a really, really expensive house and everything, and there's no talk of how he actually affords any of this. So, he doesn't have to go to work, and he just goes out and he drives his car, and he's suicidal in his car, and of course he stops right before he crashes and stuff like
The
that.
airport.
Yeah, that
What type of car was that, man?
Mustang Shelby.
Oof. Car looks crazy.
That is a beautiful, beautiful car. I would love to have that car. And they destroy it in the movie.
It was the son of a mob boss, right?
Yeah, and it was the son of the mob boss, and then
Vigo.
he wanted to buy the car off of John Wick, and he's like, it's not for sale. So they break into his house, beat the shit out of him, kill his dog, and steal the car. And then they show up and like at the chop shop and like, yo, fix this car up for me or whatever. And the guy at the chop shop punches the kid in his face. Kid's father, the big boss, calls him like, why did you punch my kid in the face? He stole John Wick's car. And then the mob boss like, oh.
You can see him take that little,
Yeah.
the little goat there.
He said, oh.
That's John Leguizamo, right?
I like John Wick Part 1 because of that. It introduced that character in that way. It's like, here's this big, bad mob boss who controls so much stuff, and who everyone should be afraid of him. But who's he afraid of? John Wick.
Yeah, man.
Right? And he's like, they stole John Wick's car. And like, look, we got kids. You hear somebody in your employ put hands on your son, and you call them like, you put hands on my son? Yeah, he stole John Wick's car. Oh. And then he kicks the shit out of his son.
He goes, "Do you know what you just did?"
And then he kisses his son goodbye. He knows his son is toast.
Yeah.
Like he said, and he gives his he kicks the shit out of his son and everything. But at the end of it, he gives his son a kiss. He's like, "Good luck."
Yeah, man.
He's like, "I'm gonna need a new son." You know what I mean?
I'm gonna need a new son.
And even you know what it is. Even throughout the movie, even when the mob guy even catches John Wick near the end, right? And he's just like, "Look, all I want is, I'm sorry." Like he catches him, he has John Wick there, right? He could put a bullet in his head and just be done with it. And he's like, "Listen, I'm sorry. He's my son. Just let it go." And John Wick is like, "He killed my dog," you know. And then he's like, "It's a fucking dog." You know what I mean? Like, it's completely asinine.
Yeah, it's crazy.
But I understand why.
Dude, we all did. Watching that movie, we're like, it's like, dude, he killed his dog, bro. Like, do you understand what he did? That dog came from his dead wife.
You know, and like and that's why I thought John Wick 1 was awesome, and it was entertaining.
I think one of my favorite scenes in John Wick wasn't even an action scene. It was literally after his house is a mess. He got the shit beat out of him. Goes and grabs a sledgehammer and starts breaking away at the floor and getting all this stuff. I was like, yo, here we go. Here we go.
You know, one of the things I liked about the movie, because it could have easily just been just that, you know, revenge story. But it's the little details into that story that made it its own little world.
Introducing the hotel.
The Hotel Continental.
Yeah, I like that.
That's pretty cool, man.
And that they have their own currency.
Own currency, their rules.
Yeah, their rules. The rules. And he's like, you want to earn a coin? Yeah. Sure, I'll earn a coin. You know what I mean? Like,
I'll earn too. Like,
it's just crazy, man. Because what I think they put a bounty on John Wick to kind of help the guy Vigo keep his son alive. They put a $2 million bounty on him, and what the rules of the hotel is,
you can't conduct business in the hotel.
No business gets done in the hotel as far as like killing contract killing.
Yeah, the hotels are neutral ground. Once you stay at the hotel, you're safe.
And then there was like 2 or 3 people who broke the rules, right? There was the cowboy hitman. Right, that cowboy hitman in the movie.
The girl, the woman assassin.
Dude, Adrian Padalecki, I think it was.
Palicki.
Oh, she killed it in that scene, man.
She's on the Orville, as well. I was first introduced to her in the Orville. She plays the first officer.
I was introduced to her in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. She was one of the new Avengers. She played like an old school Avenger in the comic books. Yeah. She played that character on the show.
Friday Night Lights for me.
Friday Night Lights? Yeah, she's pretty good, man. I'm surprised I haven't seen her in a lot of movies.
Was she the one in the whipped cream bikini?
Yes. I want to say so.
I've never seen that one. I've never seen Friday Night Lights.
Friday Night Lights is a good show.
Yeah.
If we weren't 40 years old, I would say go see it. But
no, I'll pass.
They're supposed to be playing like 16 and 17-year-old characters. That's not a good look for us at this point.
That's not cool.
For that
I love football.
But yeah, man. I mean, listen, that the killings in the hotel, them trying to kill him, and then I think one of the coolest scenes I saw in that movie was when they excommunicado.
Yes.
The girl, because she tried to kill John Wick.
Excommunicado.
And they had all the assassins circle around her.
Yep.
I just always wonder, like, how did the other assassin on the other side of that circle not get shot?
Aim down.
They formed a circle and they all shot. I'm like, what about the person on the other side? But it was a really good movie, man. I really enjoyed that movie.
But when I say stuff like that, y'all tell me it's a movie, Sanj. It's a movie, damn it. Why do you always have to bring physics into it?
It was really awesome, man. Oh, man. So that was the John Wick 1 pretty much. But it's pretty much him killing the bad guys.
It was straight through.
I mean, Listen, is that the first time we ever seen a movie like that where the guy just straight up headshot everybody?
That was incredible.
Did that with The Punisher.
The Punisher,
Yes.
okay.
Yeah, that second Punisher. I mean, terrible movie, but literally.
But great marksmanship.
But dude, the choreography in John Wick it was like a dance move.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The whole remember was it the sauna that he went to or a club that
I think
had
it
a
was a club.
sauna?
It was a club, I think.
Oh my goodness, all those fight scenes in there. I mean, that movie was incredible, man.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Was the pencil in that one?
That pencil was in number 2. They
Two.
spoke about
They
the
spoke
pencil
about it,
in
yeah.
part 1.
Okay.
He killed 3 people with a pencil. And then you actually see him do it. I'm like, that didn't look so hard.
Like, I can do that right now.
Whose pencil trick is better, Joker or John Wick?
The Joker's, because you were not expecting that at all.
But Joker only took out 1 person with his pencil.
Yeah, but that was really cool though. It was a really badass when it happened.
Oh man, so John Wick 1, man, great. Would you recommend that movie for people?
Absolutely.
Right?
Hell
It's
yeah.
entertaining.
Hell
It's
yeah.
it's just entertaining.
That movie was just completely
The
awesome.
movie
man.
is signed up as entertainment.
Yeah.
Now John Wick 2.
If you really liked John Wick 1, I mean, I'm glad. I'm not upset that I watched John Wick 2.
But it didn't compare to John Wick
they
1,
didn't
right?
compare to John Wick, but they did add to the story.
They did.
They did add something to the story. I thought the fight scenes went on a little bit long
Right.
Agreed.
for me, and if that's the only that's the only thing negative I would say about the movie. Like the fight scenes went on a little bit long, and that detracts from it. It becomes exhausting, and it takes away from the effect of the choreography, and it's wasted.
I think
almost.
every fight he had with Common was just too
Actually,
long.
I enjoyed the fight
Me
with
too.
Common.
Especially the one in the
Like
the
if you wanted to
train
have a
and
long,
city.
if you wanted to have a long fight,
Yeah.
make that it. But every fight was
long.
long and drawn out.
Yeah.
The
Right.
fight with Common I thought was great.
I think
because
the one in the middle of Rome was like a little much.
yeah,
But I think the one in the train was good.
yeah. But the one with Common where he has, he's trying to shoot Common,
Yeah.
and Common has no gun at this point, and he basically makes him waste all of his bullets,
Yeah.
and then they got to fight hand to hand combat.
Yeah.
The choreography on that fight, incredible.
Yeah.
Dude,
So-
Common surprised me in that movie.
I love Common.
Yeah.
Common is the best.
Common's awesome,
Common
man.
is so cool.
It really is, man.
I want that guy to like narrate everything. Like,
No, I'll stick with Morgan Freeman for my narration.
Yeah, Morgan Freeman's still the king
I'm,
of that.
I'm such a huge fan of Common.
Although I can see Common picking up
yeah.
from Morgan Freeman.
Ever since the Kid
You
Cudi
know.
album, the first one, Man on the Moon, when Common narrated, I was like, "Ooh, Common's so cool, He's so cool."
Oh man, so let me see here. With John Wick 2, what we started off on that story was
He got his car back.
that's what it was. It started with him getting his car back from whoever had
John
it.
Leguizamo.
John Leguizamo had
No,
it
John. Yeah, and then he got it back from the Russians.
from the mobsters. 'cause
From the
The
mobsters.
beginning of that movie was him,
and
like,
then he had John Leguizamo come pick it up to fix it.
right, because the beginning of the movie was like 20 minutes of just like action of him killing a bunch of mobsters to
Yes.
get his car. Yeah, and then that introduced us to the marker,
Yes,
which is the blood marker, right?
yes. You
So
can't
if I
ignore
remember correctly, the blood marker was it was a favor he owed another mobster because the mobster let him retire or something like
it.
that.
No, he owed the other mobster a favor because the mobster did him a favor when
What-
he
what
needed.
he needed the favor to.
That was how he made his name. And that's how he also got out.
That's how
The
he,
first time.
That's how he. Okay, yeah. So he could get married and do all this stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
Because remember at the beginning of the first movie, the big boss says, he wanted to retire and I gave him an impossible task and he completed it.
Right.
And they never told you how he completed, but he got help. But he used a blood marker to get that help. And once he stayed out, he was fine. But he came back. Now that he was back,
Yeah.
you're back in play. You retire, you stay out, you're good.
Right.
But the fact that you came back, that means you're back in the game. And how when he came through, his boy came through was like to collect the debt. And he was even like, "Listen, this was a one-time thing. I'm out." And he's like, "Nah, you came back. Now you owe me.
Right.
You can't deny me."
And that was one of the rules for the
The
Continental
blood marker, right?
Hotel,
That was
right?
one of the rules. Like you can't deny a blood marker, and then if you do, it's fair game.
Yeah. and destroyed his house. He destroyed his house. Jesus. And I don't
Like
know
with
how he survived
bazookas.
all that stuff, but that was insane. That was just absolutely, because I remember I'm trying to remember the whole scene. I just remember him running with his dog, the new dog that he got at the end of the first one, and I just remember the house being down in ashes. And he's like, I gotta go kill again.
Guess I gotta suit up.
Oh my goodness! And what, did he go right back to the Continental again? And that's when they told him, you got a marker, so you have to do what he.
Yeah, he went
wants
to
you
he
do.
went to talk to the boss or whatever, the Continental.
And then
I like how they make it like the secret, like they incorporate elements of like secret societies,
Right,
like Illuminati type stuff.
like a place where
But
all
it's
these
just like
hitmen
it's
hang out.
assassins and it's guns and stuff like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man, and that's what,
It's not too heavy. You
No,
know,
no,
like
it's
something
definitely
like
not.
something like
easy to understand.
like Da Vinci Code with the Dan Brown series of novels with Robert Langdon
Yeah.
and stuff like that. It's very similar. There's symbolism and secret societies and stuff in it, but those are like kind of heavy. The subject matter is kind of heavy. This is just like it has that and it's cool. It's just guns and shooting.
Oh, and that's what he had to. I think he had to. The favor that the guy wanted was for him to kill his sister. If I remember correctly, his sister was the one in Rome, the female in Rome.
Yes.
Why did he want his sister dead? Because he wanted power?
He wanted to take over his sister's because him and his sister were sharing power.
Gotcha. Okay.
And he couldn't kill his sister because then everyone would know he did it, and then, but if someone else did it, it didn't look wrong,
Right.
right?
And that scene was so crazy. She saw him and she's just like, I know what you're here for, and I can't. She kind of knew that it was her brother that sent them, and did she slit her own wrist? Because she didn't want him to kill him.
I think she did kill
she
herself.
did something like that. I think
killed
she.
herself.
Oh God. Oh.
I think she was like, I prefer to do it my way. Like,
Right, but then he still shot her.
I don't know. He's like, I had to put a bullet in you, I guess.
But then it comes to the one scene I will never forget on that is he walks by Common,
Yeah.
and Common looks at him because you can see that Common like recognized him, and Common's like, "You have a good day, John?" Yeah, I did. A real kind day. And I guess they just knew right there what he had did.
Yep.
And that's what began that fight. And that actually, that whole Rome fight, I think that's when he had the shotgun.
I think it was a shotgun.
Oh my Lord.
Yeah, he was bucking people down with that shot. There was no remorse.
That's the thing about that movie. It's just like you never seen people use the guns the way that they use them in that movie, and the way he just did everything. And oh my God! But that I completely agree with you because I remember it being like super long. That scene.
That was a good 20 minutes.
Right?
It was
Because
like a good 20 minutes.
like you could have went and peed, and came back, and he would have still been bucking people down with the same shotgun in the same little tunnel. You know what I mean? And all the guys, they're not dressed differently. So it's just like it's almost like
the same five guys going to
right,
rotation.
it's almost like a video game where just
Yeah,
you get those
definitely.
henchmen.
they're just extras. You know what I mean? Like just so yeah, you got that for like 5 minutes. That was your restroom break.
Yeah,
You
and
know?
then in that led to the first fight with Common,
Yes,
which was absolutely crazy, and
because the bounty was already out on him.
right. Well, no, not yet, because I think he was trying to get away from the people from the room. He was trying to get away from the bodyguards, and then him and Common somehow landed in a hotel in Rome, and it was another form of the
Yeah, it was
Continental.
another one of the Continental.
And they're like, guys, you know the rules. And they actually went and had a beer or like a drink together real quick. It's so ridiculous. They were just about to kill each other. Now they're like, this drink's on me. Such so awesome, man.
I love the ending. You know, once they announced, you know, John Wick excommunicado, and like the time we went down, and then everyone kind of froze in the park, and you're like, oh.
Well, because he had they give him an hour?
He's like, you have 1 hour.
Like,
But why did they do that? It's because
I think they tried to give him the fair.
No, because
he killed the main boss guy in the hotel.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's why
He
was
broke the rules.
He broke the
Yeah.
rule. He was excommunicado because
Like the
of
rules
that.
still apply to John Wick, as much as John Wick don't want the rules to apply to John Wick.
Yeah.
But the dude is like just likes him so much. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna give you an hour. That's all I can give you.
Oh my god, you just see him running, and that's what leads to the end
I
of
just
that
love
movie.
that everyone in the park stopped.
Yeah,
That was the craziest part.
And you see everybody just looking up and looking at him.
Yeah.
That's just crazy, man. I just can't believe that movie. I like I said, I like part 1 a lot better than 2. But 2 was still interesting and still cool to see. You also saw Lawrence Fishburne in the movie.
Yes.
Was he playing like he was pretending to be a homeless bird person?
He just plays some variation of Morpheus.
He's like, you want the red pill? I mean, the gun? Or
I wonder how many takes that they actually had that happen.
You know what sucks about
Sorry,
that?
Lawrence Fishburne. I'm sorry.
It's like it's cool and it sucks at the same time because it's cool to see the two of them together. And like you said, you look at Lawrence Fishburne, you see him, you're like, this is Matrix Part 4. Who are they lying
Shut
to?
up.
Come on. They're the Matrix.
where's Carrie Ann Moss?
That's the next thing I was gonna say,
Where's
man.
Carrie
It's like
Ann
you
Moss?
start looking for Carrie Ann
Wear those
Moss.
vinyl pants on Carrie Ann Moss. Oh, yeah.
I don't know if she fits in them anymore. I don't know if she fits.
Oh man,
Damn, B.
Have
gonna
you
throw-
seen? Did you see her in the,
No.
the Marvel shows?
No.
she's in Jessica Jones,
She's in
right?
Jessica Jones, Daredevil. She's in all of them.
Yeah.
She got a little.
What's your,
little thicker?
What's your take?
Not
You
a
think
good thing.
You think she's gonna show up in John Wick 3?
Okay. I would say yes if I was for certain it was going to be the last one.
Mm-hmm.
Keanu Reeves. I don't know if there's any truth to the story that he did it as a favor, to somebody.
What
The John Wick movies?
Yeah. Like, he did it as a
What?
favor, but it was actually like a good cause. Like, it was like someone posted. He did it as
wait a
good
minute.
favor.
You know
Yeah.
what? The guy who did John Wick is his stunt double.
Yeah. Yeah. From
That's
the
what it
Matrix.
is.
And he did it as a favor to him.
Yes.
And then he said,
yes.
he's like, listen, as long as the fans want it, I'll do as many John Wick movies as you want. So, like,
yeah,
I mean, I'm certain it's going to end at 3.
yeah.
And it would be interesting to have Carrie Ann Moss just pop up for like a second.
But should they do that? Because they need to make it like, because what would be the reason for them to do it besides
Just a nod.
Just a nod, right?
Just a nod.
What would be the reason not to do it?
Because it's a nod.
See what I did there? See what I did there?
That's the reason not to do it, but the reason to do it.
I mean,
which
you
is
already put
crazy.
Lawrence Fishburne as in the movie as a version of Morpheus,
Yeah.
right? You gave him a different name. You gave him some birds. Still Morpheus,
Right.
Still leading a renegade group,
right?
Oh, my
That's what I'm
goodness.
saying. Like, why not? Just do.
That whole hitman thing, man. What's your take on that, man? You like that, Rasanj? Like all the hitmen, pretty much a lot of people in that city were all hitmen because all their phones were going off. What'd you
Like,
think of all that? Like, because remember when he was trying to get away, all these people started showing up out of nowhere when the bad guy put like a $7 million bounty on him and he was trying to run away.
Well, I think they have a good network of communication. So I don't necessarily think they all stay there, but when they heard that, they all converged. It was a convergence.
If $7 million, I always showed up.
You know what I mean? Like, I thought it was cool. It's just like anything else. Like back in the day when they used to do the hoop it up tournaments. Like
Right.
ballers from all over the place used to converge on Nassau community, or not Nassau community, Nassau Coliseum.
Yeah.
We'd be over there. We ain't win no games, but it's all right.
Hey, Brady, what you think about all the hitmen over there in the movie?
I think it's cool. I mean, as long as they make it work, and as long as it makes sense. I mean, in the realm of John Wick makes sense. As long as that works, it's fine with me. And in the next movie where we have Halle Berry and she has dogs. We have some other people. I don't know if Common's coming back or not.
I hope so.
I don't know because I'm not sure if he died in
I don't
part
think he
2.
did.
I don't think he did.
I don't think he did.
Because he left him with a mortal wound. He put something in his leg. I think if he put a knife in his leg and if he pulled it out, he would die faster.
Oh, right. He did.
Yeah.
He was just like, if you pull it out, it's over. So I think they were working through that. But I feel like just a story element, as long as it makes sense in the realm of the movie,
Yeah.
then it works. I think it's cool. I would say movies that revolve around Hitman outside of John Wick haven't worked so well.
Right.
Like the actual movie Hitman.
Yeah.
It was just kind of dull.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, I think that it comes to an entertainment value. Are you giving me the action?
The
that I
Transporter
want?
movies worked pretty well, but he wasn't really a hitman.
And it only worked for the one, really. The second one was kind of like,
Yeah.
But like, as long as if you give me the entertainment value I want out of an action movie,
Right.
then I'm in. Like John Wick, like story wise, it's not an incredible story, but it has a good amount of good elements in
It's
it that
fun.
make it fun and entertaining. So like if you give me like a Hitman movie that's overly dramatic and this and that, you know, whether if the story is good, then I'll go for it. But if you're giving me an action movie and it's slow and it's got nothing to it, then I may not enjoy it.
Gotcha.
You know, it's just like what they did with that movie Funny People, where they put every comedian under the sun and made it a drama. You know, like
Yeah.
remember we went to go see it because Dane Cook was in it, Adam Sandler was in it,
Right.
and it was a movie about divorce and death and this and that. And we're all like, "Oh, this is sad." Like we were waiting to laugh. Like,
This is
oh
not
god,
funny.
you know. So like, if you give me something entertaining,
Yeah.
I'll like it.
I think
gotcha.
I think with all those Hitmen, it can be a bit much
Right.
because that's where it becomes a little bit ridiculous.
That's what I was saying.
Him
'Cause then at the
evading-
end of the movie, when he's running away, it felt like everybody looked at him.
Right. Right.
I mean, I'm sure the movie's gonna open up with him buckshotting like everyone, you know,
Right.
and then leave it for like the most important characters that are chasing after him, kind of a thing, or find him.
Now, this is the one thing that I'm a little confused with, or maybe I just don't remember correctly. So maybe you guys could help me out on this. When it ended in part 2, before he was excommunicado and got that 1 hour, the guy, the main person at the hotel, did he give him a marker or did he give him his old marker back? Did he give him a marker to help him out, or did he give him the one saying like, you did what you had to do, now you're done?
He gave him the old marker back because that's your proof that you fulfilled
That's what he
your
did.
promise.
Okay. All right, so that's what I want to say, because I'm thinking that might have something to play with in this next one here. But you know, like I said, the John Wick 3 Parabellum comes out this Thursday. Looks like we're all gonna give it a check and just see how it is, and hopefully we'll have a review for you guys next week for the John Wick 3 there. So hopefully you guys like that there. We just gave you a quick rundown of part 1, part 2, our thoughts on it and everything. And that John Wick, that action movie being so crazy, so different, which kind of brought me back to like the action movies that I've seen in my lifetime. And there's so many good action movies that stick to me, like Die Hard.
That's a Christmas movie.
Bruce Willis said it wasn't.
It's in Christmas.
Does Bruce Willis have a podcast about movies? That's what I thought.
Have you guys ever seen The Raid? It's like it's a foreign film.
Is it like they just go around with canisters killing roaches?
No.
No.
It's like if I'm correct, I think it's a Chinese movie, and what it is that it's a cop or a group of cops. They're trying to infiltrate a building, and they're going from floor to floor to get to the main
Yes, I've seen
hitman.
that movie.
Right?
Awesome.
Isn't it crazy, man?
Awesome.
I remember seeing that movie thinking
And then
it
he
was
finds
great.
his brother in there too.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's just absolutely nuts. So, I mean, there's a bunch of good action movies, but I had to try to kind of separate it a little bit because there's a lot of action movies that go into other genres like sci-fi or
See,
fantasy.
that movie felt kind of like a video game because it was just nonstop fighting. So
Oh, yeah.
we're talking about, the fight scenes in John Wick. So that was nonstop fighting, but that worked,
Yeah.
right? And it actually kind of felt like a video game where you're beating levels, and like, and then it came to like where like he's playing the big boss,
Right.
and beating the big boss, or like the boss right before the big boss, which is
Mm-hmm.
pretty badass too. Like, you know what I mean? Like, and it had that feel, so it ran like a video game.
Yeah.
So I thought it was cool,
Really, really.
but it's
was.
how you do it.
Absolutely. So, B-Dog, for you, man, is there like any kind of action movies that stand out to you that you remember or that you love or that you could watch over again? Like, when someone says, "Hey, what's your favorite action movie?" What would you say it is?
That's tough because I've never really been huge on the action movies.
Mhm.
Like I love seeing them, but they've always been for entertainment. Like I've never really seen one that had great story all around. But I would say one that just pops in my head is Reign of Fire.
What's
Christian
that?
Bale.
Christian Bale.
It's,
Reign of
it's like
Fire.
a future apocalyptic movie with dragons,
Okay.
and like they're just Christian Bale's leading like a group of refugees like across like what I think is the UK kind of a thing,
Right.
and just trying to kill dragons, like like
Yeah.
like there's a one big dragon that they have to kill and all that, and they live kind of like a pseudo matrix where they're living underground, so that way they're not killed by the dragons and all that.
Gotcha.
And it was a cool sci-fi movie because I wasn't expecting it. Like I don't recall. I think you and I watched it together, and I was like, I didn't see a trailer for it, so I was like, oh, Reign of Fire with Christian Bale. I'm like, all right, whatever. And then also we put on like, interesting. I'm like, all right, you
Yeah.
know. I was like, pretty cool.
Alright. And Sanj, I know for you and I, man, like us growing up, action movies like
Those
Arnold
were the thing.
Schwarzenegger,
Arnold Schwarzenegger,
Sylvester Stallone,
Stallone's, what's his name?
Bruce Willis.
Steven Seagal.
Yeah.
Those were like
Those
yeah.
are the big guys during our
Yeah.
time, right? Chuck Norris.
Chuck Norris, Jean-Claude Van Damme.
That's our time period, man.
Yeah.
So, like, if someone were to go to you, like, Sanj, name some of your like favorite action movies. Like, what's something that stands out to you?
I'm
as
gonna
far
say
as
I'm gonna
action
say a
movies?
few before I get to like my favorite because
Go for it, man. Yeah.
there's the Lethal Weapon series.
Yeah, that's definitely Those are great, man.
That was incredible. Bloodsport.
Bloodsport, yes.
Okay, USA. Bloodsport. I still remember all the characters like Tong Po, like him fighting Tong Po. Like
Yeah, man. It's a bad man.
that's a bad man right there. But some of it was just so cheesy at the same time, but it was like so entertaining. Like, and they were like, you wanted to be like in the Kumite, you know what I mean? Like, you wanted to go out the next day and do karate. You know, like,
That's what action movies do, man.
You know?
They make you want to just go.
Yeah, but not. I used to really like movies with Jean-Claude Van Damme. I if you ask me why, I don't know why he stood out, but just
It's because every time he did something, he like flexed really hard.
and then say ah! Like
Street Fighter.
yeah, but yeah, I would say if I was looking at an action series, I would say the Lethal Weapon.
Lethal Weapon,
I could
yeah.
watch those over and over because they were funny at the same time. Riggs
Right.
and Murtaugh, but all time favorite Delta Force, Chuck Norris.
Chuck Norris, Delta Force, yes.
A cheesy movie, but I mean,
Yeah, man.
yeah, Chuck Norris.
Would you guys consider Gladiator an action movie?
I don't know.
Well, depend. How are we defining an action movie?
See,
There's plenty of action. Yeah.
There's plenty of action, but I don't know if people consider that action movie because
But
that's
what do
that's
they call
one
it
of my
otherwise?
greatest.
Yeah, what would you define it?
Right? I don't know. It's not a drama.
Well, a little bit.
Let's
but,
find out.
I mean, I don't know.
Let's find out what it's classified as.
How about 300?
Well, if 300 is an action movie, Gladiator is an action movie.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, 300
I
from
mean-
beginning to end. Because you know what? I when I think of 300, I think of all the fight scenes. I don't think of anything else besides those fight scenes.
Gladiator does have a lot more. I mean, you could call Gladiator a period piece.
That's true. Yeah.
It does have a lot more story. It's not centered around the fighting so much. The fight scenes aren't really what bring you
Right.
to it. But there's a lot of story there, so it could be a period piece.
To me, if I wasn't sure about Gladiator, definitely my number one would be Die Hard, man.
Die Hard.
Die Hard 1.
I
Is
mean,
it the
I'm a
Okinawa
huge
Towers?
Yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker.
Oh
fan.
man.
I'm a really big fan of the kind of our international films. I actually feels like Ip Man. You know,
Ip Man, yes.
Like I love.
I saw Ip Man 1. I don't think I seen 2 or 3, but I saw 1, and 1 was like just incredible.
One was great. I
What
wanted to
is
learn
it?
Wing
Is
Chun
it-
in like 2 seconds.
Wing Chun is
Yeah.
the type of karate he teaches, right?
Well, Gladiator is listed on Google as drama action.
Drama action.
So,
So, yeah.
And I can see that because, that's a drama.
Yeah.
But, I guess.
I mean, I love the action in that movie, man. And it's like I said, when you think of action, there's nothing that's just usually straight, just action movie, but you blend the two. I remember the first Predator with Arnold Schwarzenegger.
I saw that recently.
Oh, man.
Dylan, you son of a bitch. What the CIA has you pushing pencils?
Yes!
Oh, wait. How about him and Carl Weathers with their handshake? They just grab each other's wrist and muscle.
The most intense flex of all time.
Wait, how about when they spent like 5,000 rounds of ammunition just shooting at trees? That's probably the most manliest shit I've ever seen in my life.
Pose doing it like it was a straight Tommy gun pose. Like, bah, 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 bah. I'm flexing. My biceps hurt. Like,
Wasn't even Jesse the Body Ventura in there with the rail gun?
yeah.
Oh my god, dude, those movies, man. I tell you, man. Sometimes I want to just go back and just watch them, but there's so many other movies I need to catch up on. But I definitely want to see like Die Hard again, Predator again.
No, you don't want to see Predator again.
I do, man.
I watched Predator before. And it's just like you're watching and you're just going, okay, just fight the thing.
Would you guys consider Enter the Dragon an action movie?
Oh yes.
I mean, you have
Bruce
Jet Li.
Lee.
Oh yes.
Oh, I'm sorry, Bruce Lee.
Bruce
Sorry,
Lee, yeah.
I said Chun Li. Oh my god.
I haven't seen that movie in a long time, but every time I remember that movie, I just remember just how great it was.
I just love watching Bruce Lee just smack people and make them look silly. and then he does that. The best was when he fought
Chuck Norris.
no,
No.
Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
Oh.
Y'all remember that? That fight scene was
Into the
incredible.
Dragon, right?
Yeah, that fight scene was incredible, bro. Like
And
you got to feel for just how small Bruce Lee was. He was not a big man,
No, it's 5'4".
but I don't think there's anyone. The Mountain on Game of Thrones wouldn't
Yeah.
mess with Bruce Lee.
He'd be paralyzed. I was
dude,
like,
he just killed it, man. Wow.
Imagine being like brilliant enough to invent your own martial art. Jeet Kune Do, I believe he called it, right? Jeet Kune Do, right?
which is
like,
stuff from
But
Wing
wasn't
Chun.
he trained by Ip Man?
Yep.
He was trained by Ip Man in Wing Chun.
Yep.
That's why he was so freaking fast with his hands. If you guys, since you guys listed like your action movies there, who's your best like action star right now, past, whatever?
Gosh. See, the problem is there's too many stars that
There
do so
really
many
is.
things now.
For me, I guess that's not action though.
I'll throw a name out there. Let me see what you guys think, Sanj. What about The Rock right now? Would you consider him a huge action star?
He
right
is
now?
the biggest action
He is
star.
the
He's the
biggest
right
action
now.
star.
Yeah, man.
He is actually.
I honestly thought it would be with the rise of the Fast and Furious movies. I thought it would be Vin Diesel to really take that mantle. But when they introduced The Rock, with all the other stuff that he was
I
doing,
mean, Vin Diesel had his time.
Vin Diesel
'Cause
did
when
have his
the
time.
first one came out, he had Triple X.
no, but what
you
I'm
know.
saying is like you would figure that, and then he got he got Triple X, he got what's the other movie? I always blank on it.
Oh, Chronicles of Riddick.
Riddick, right? So yeah, like they started to do that stuff with him, and but then The Rock just
Came
came
back.
came back.
He just
and
came
he's
back.
just everywhere. Like
He really is. He's
Dude, do you
literally
remember
everything, man.
like
Yeah.
Rock disappeared and he came back and he was huge?
Yeah.
Like I was like, yo, how many people did you eat to become this guy?
the official story is that he worked out a lot.
I don't believe it. I don't
right.
believe it.
I'm not throwing no shade at The Rock.
Nah,
I
man.
love The
I am
Rock.
not
I just
throwing no
remember
shade at The Rock.
Watching him on, was it WWE or WWF?
WWE now.
I was just watching him and I was just like, okay, you know, he was.
I give The
somewhat
Rock. I
big.
give The Rock his credit for making an elbow a finishing move.
the
The people's elbow. Like people
people's
dropping elbows
elbow.
all the time, but when he dropped the people's elbow,
Can you smell?
is cooking.
It's the most electrifying
Move in sports entertainment.
Hopped over you 3 times and then like had a stroke as he dropped the elbow.
Had a stroke.
How much wind up did he do?
So much.
Wait. How about the slow removal of the elbow pad?
As the guy's still on the floor. Like,
But you know who he stole that from, right?
No.
He stole that from Lex Luger.
Really?
Because Lex Luger, remember, he had a metal plate in his forearm
Uh-huh.
that he was required to wear a elbow pad over it, and then like when he wanted to cheat, he would remove it slowly.
Oh my goodness, man. So, Brandon, how about you, man? I'm gonna throw you a name. I threw Sanj The Rock because I've been watching all these Mission Impossible movies, man. Tom Cruise, man.
see, Tom Cruise is crazy because Tom Cruise just plays Tom Cruise. Like, Tom Cruise has always been Tom Cruise. No matter if he's Ethan Hunt or whatever he wants to play, he's always Tom Cruise. I think he's crazy because
Right.
he wants to do all his own stunts. He wants to do everything himself. I mean, I would say he's not the action star he used to be. Because, you know, yes, he's still doing Mission Impossible.
Right.
And he just did The Mummy. But, like, he was his biggest in the earliest 2000s.
Right.
You know, when the first Mission Impossible came out towards, what was it, 99, 98? You know, that was when he was his biggest. But after that, I think he kind of died off a bit.
Yeah.
Just like Jean-Claude Van Damme. You know, big for the time. Was it the the something soldier. Who was it? I forget.
Time Soldier or
No. Oh, I forget the name of the movie, but like he was in there. He was like the first one.
Universal
The
Soldier.
Universal Soldier.
There it is.
You know, he got off
Is that
that
with Wesley
terror.
Snipes as well?
I think so.
I know Dolph Lundgren was in that.
Dolph Lundgren was in it.
Yeah, that's another
you know,
one, right? Those are classic.
It was
action
like it was a
guys.
straight 5 years that Jean-Claude Van Damme was like the man, you know, and then like I think Street Fighter like kind of ruined it for him a little bit, but like you know even with Steven Seagal, same thing, a straight 7-8 years where Steven Seagal was the man,
Yeah.
but then everyone's just like, no, you're fat and you got this weird ponytail.
Well,
Like,
he
stop
got
it.
fat and everything, but he was killing it before. Wait, what was it? The movie that they're all the '80s action stars are in.
The Expendables.
Expendables,
And there's like 3 of those movies.
right?
Yeah.
Those are pretty.
Those
cool.
movies are awesome.
They are awesome.
Let's see, Signs. Let me throw you a name and you
Can't
tell me
hear
what you think.
a single word in the movie between Dolph Lundgren and and
Rambo?
what's his name, Rocky.
Sylvester Stallone.
Sylvester Stallone. Dude, like any scene that they're talking to each other, like, yeah, okay, all right, so someone's angry, I think. Like, I don't know, but something's happening.
They had a great scene in Creed 2.
They did
When
they were in the Rocky's restaurant.
yeah, when Drago shows up in Rocky's
no,
restaurant.
No spoiler alert on that one,
you didn't
guys.
see it?
I haven't seen Creed 2 yet.
Oh,
You're tripping, bro, because we
That's
gave
2
you enough
movies
time, man.
that shit's on DVD.
After Mission Impossible Fallout, Netflix is going to send me my next DVD, which is Creed 2.
It's been on DVD for a while, man.
Like, come on,
I love Creed 1. Oh my god, that's
Creed
so
2
good.
is great.
So good.
They've
Yeah.
done a good job of adding to the story.
Awesome.
I will say that.
Yeah, agreed. Mostly
All right,
agreed.
we're going to go to Sanjay now, your next action star, man. Jason Statham.
I like him.
All right, next.
But I mean, I don't
Yeah,
think
go
he brings. I don't think he brings anything
right.
fresh to the table.
He
I
just
lo-
talks like this.
Yeah, I like him. I like him as Hobbs. No,
Yeah.
he's Shaw. He's Shaw.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like him as Shaw. You know, he's good in the Transporter movies.
All right.
I just have, to me, he's like new age,
Right.
even though he's like the same age as them other guys. Maybe not as old as like Dolph Lundgren
Yeah.
or Sylvester Stallone. But what I'm saying, like, to me, he's like the newer guard. And like, if I have to pick like my favorite, I'm going for like a Chuck Norris, a Sylvester Stallone,
Right.
a maybe not Steven Seagal, but that from someone from that era,
Right.
you know. Because I just remember watching those movies with like my dad liked to watch those movies. I'm watching them, and my grandmother loved those guys.
Really?
Grandmother loved those guys.
awesome.
She would. Oh my gosh, she would get so excited
Uh-huh.
in the movie. She's like, "Yeah, give it to him, punch him in the face." Like, yo, this is my little old grandmother, like the sweetest little lady that ever lived.
That's awesome, man. Let's see. How about this one, Brandon? If you had to choose between Arnold Schwarzenegger or Sylvester Stallone,
Oh, that's hard.
what do you think there,
Because
man?
they both had great film series. I think Arnold had
More iconic. No, not
more
necessarily.
iconic comedic roles.
Mhm.
Because I don't think Sylvester Stallone took any comedic roles really. But I mean, Sylvester Stallone's story alone, you know, Broke Man had.
But
like-
that's not an action movie.
You wouldn't call Rocky an action movie?
Drama sport. That's what it's classified as.
Ooh,
I
drama sport. You're right. You're
I
right.
would
I'll get
I would
there.
I would totally call it an action movie because of the way him.
Okay,
and-
so then Rambo compared to Predator, I
Right.
mean, it's the same movie, you know, kind of in the same sense. I would say in terms of Sylvester Stallone's action movies,
Yeah.
they were very over the top. But I mean, Arnold Schwarzenegger himself was very over the top.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I mean, I would give it to Arnold just because Mr. Olympia, you know, like.
Of course.
But if we were gonna go to if we were gonna say Rocky in there, I would give it to Sylvester Stallone.
if we were picking overall,
Yeah.
it would be hands down Sylvester Stallone. Overall,
Hands down, Sylvester
Hands
Stallone.
down.
Hands down.
Because
Sylvester
I feel
Stallone.
like he kind of disappeared for a while. Sylvester Stallone.
nothing that any of them ever did
Uh-huh.
comes close to Rocky.
Oh, of course
But
not. No.
That's what I'm saying.
Remember-
If we're going
Yeah.
overall,
I'm talking about body of work
After
and
a
everything,
while,
yeah.
Arnold only had Terminator.
That's Well, he had a couple those
After-
80s movies.
The 80 movies.
Yeah.
So like he was pushing just with T2 and everything.
Yeah.
Like after T2, like he was only doing Terminator.
Yeah.
So he couldn't get out to anything else. You know, and yes, Rocky was
Yeah.
the 80s into the 90s, but like
Rocky beat communism.
You know what though? Big shout out to my man Carl Weathers, because one of my
Yes.
favorite movies is Action Jackson.
Action Jackson.
That is crazy, man. I love that movie. I love that guy, man. He's a really cool guy, man. I've seen a couple of his interviews and a lot of things that he says, and he still acts now. So he's really
I mean, he's
awesome,
in the next
man.
Star Wars.
So, Sons, I got your last one up here, man. Jackie Chan, Jet Li.
Jackie Chan.
Oh,
Jackie Chan. He's been doing it for a longer time.
yeah.
He still does it.
Uh-huh.
You don't see Jet Li that much anymore.
Not
And then
silly at all.
Jet Li exists because of people like Jackie Chan.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Jackie Chan was a pioneer in that sense. I mean, look into Jackie Chan's story. Very similar story to Sylvester Stallone. Like really, just pull yourself up by your own bootstraps. He didn't write some iconic role or anything like that, and then does the comedy roles very well. Rush Hour, come
Oh my
on,
God, classic.
you know,
Rush Hour 1,
2,
unbelievable.
3, I don't care. 1 was the best.
He
Yes,
spanned a cartoon, Jackie Chan Adventures.
That's right.
yeah.
It was one of the greatest cartoons ever. Like it was great.
And then on top of it, he's a pretty good singer too. He's really a really good singer.
He's really talented, man.
Yeah, he's a very talented man.
I can't believe that he does still to this day some of his stunts. It's just
Yeah.
nuts, man.
And I mean, Jet Li, I feel like Jet Li played the same character in every movie. Like he wasn't very diverse. He just played the really the call in to beat somebody
And
up.
he
Like,
didn't
that's
have
what it
much dialogue
No.
either. Like
He did all the moves with DMX. Like that was really
if
it.
you tell me who's karate I like better or who's
Right.
martial arts I like better, watching him move, Jet Li.
Jet Li,
Because he was
yeah.
swift
Wasn't it? He was in that movie with DMX, right?
and Cradle to the Grave,
Yeah.
and then was it
Romeo Must Die.
Romeo
That's
Must
that.
Must
one.
Die,
That was
yeah.
the first one.
Yeah, no, he came onto the scene a little late here, but he was a huge star over there.
Right.
So was
Yeah.
Jackie Chan, though. Jackie
Yeah.
Chan was
Yeah.
phenomenal out
But
there.
what I'm saying is that Jet Li exists because of Jackie Chan.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely, man. I mean, these guys are all great action stars, man. And like I said, I love reminiscing on these action stars because I feel like
Takes
a lot
you
of
back.
these movies, yeah, especially when you think about
You- like-
action alone, not action sci-fi, action fantasy, just action. And it's just those type of movies were from pretty much like our era,
Yes.
our ages, you
Yes.
know about these characters, like I said. Because now, like I said, everything's either the Fast and Furious or these comic book movies. There's not really just like action alone. So,
Yeah.
yeah, man, it's gonna be
There's
interesting.
no like standalone thing.
Right, everything's a blend of something now.
Yeah.
Which
That's
is
okay.
awesome. Yeah, changing times and looks. As long as they're making good movies and good stories out there, we're there for it, man. All right, man. Well, listen, we're gonna end the podcast right there today. Again, we just wanted to go over the John Wick, go over some action movies and some of the news of the week there. And like I always say, we appreciate everyone that listens to us. We see the stats out there of who's listening, and we just really appreciate everybody who gives us a chance to listen to us and subscribe. And like I always say, please, people, comment, send us some suggestions. There's a lot of S words in there, man. I can't even get that right. Send us some suggestions.
She sells seashells by the seashore.
Yeah, man. So send them on through, man. And again, we really appreciate you guys listening. You can catch us at therealfanreview.com. That's our website. Email therealfanreview@gmail.com. You can catch us on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. We appreciate and love all you guys. Have a great week, and we'll be back with you next week.